The the NIAID director holds patent for bird flu P vaccine as his agency creates the Frankenstein bird flu virus in the lab. Oh boy. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. I'm the brother Dhamma Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All right, and this is not medical advice. This is not, I'm just reading the news, and just relaying a message that, these individuals are ultimately doing. And you see, and this is something that we've been warning and telling, Jake about for the longest, man. This is why this man is not to be trusted, okay? And this is why everything that he does needs to be scrutinized, it needs to be checked and double checked, cross-examined, and taken with a grain of salt. And it ultimately shows you that, this man's, these elites, their intentions for you people are never good, man. And, this is why we're constantly preaching for a new rulership and new management of the earth, because the things that these people are doing are completely diabolical and heinous and very evil, man. All right. And this is why we call this man the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he's, doing shit like this. And not only does he do rotten, evil, wicked shit like this, but he profits off of it. And at the same time, he'll create these particular things and then release it out on the people to get infected, to get sick, to get damaged by it. And at the same time, he'll come and try to play the savior and act as if, he's working tirelessly and he's working hard for your safety to produce a cure that can, fix these, man-made situations, but present them as, natural, as natural and just sicknesses that are randomly happening in the earth, which is completely a goddamn lie. And it's just bullshit. And this is why this man is known as the devil that the Bible speaks of. And this is why this man can't be trusted. None of them, whoever they're putting in front of you, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Fauci, whether it's whoever, Trump, these so-called experts, the so-called scientists, the so-called, whoever they're putting in front of you when particular disasters happen, know for a fact that those guys are all paid actors. They're all on the take, and they're ultimately pawns being used by these elites to screw you over, man. So I'm gonna read just a little bit of this article. I got some precepts, but it just shows you, man, hey, these motherfuckers are demonic. It says the U.S. government's pandemic apparatus merges research, regulation, and remuneration, raising the question not of whether the next outbreak is being planned for, but whether it's being prepared for profit. And it's both. Like I said, these outbreaks and sicknesses that you see, a lot of them, which they're not going to tell you, are created. They're researched. These devils go. That's why we like to call the CDC the Center for Disease Creation. You see? And what they do is they'll get certain sicknesses and viruses, just like Fauci, which, like I said, this is not medical information. These are facts that have been proven true, is that they're taking certain influenzas and diseases and they're researching them. They're taking them into laboratories, learning how they operate, and they're ultimately manipulating them to make them more, to make them deadlier, to make them more, to make them more deadly. That's why they had a thing called gain of function. They're researching these viruses and these diseases to make them more, easier to catch, to spread more easier, and basically to, figuring out ways that they could use them to, fuck people up. And then on the back end, create a so-called cure for the same disease that they're creating so that they could profit and to make money. But at the meantime, destroying you people, creating scenarios, creating outbreaks, using it for psychological operations, and ultimately to be able to shut shit down and to, pass unrighteous decrees, and ultimately to gain more control over you people. at the expense of millions upon millions of people dropping dead and getting sick from these particular things, and then trying to play the hero and trying to play the savior by coming with a V that could help and that could suppress this same shit that they created, man. It's absolutely diabolical, to the core. But let me get this up first before I get into this article. Right, and this is Psalms chapter 4, 64 and 2 in the NLT. In 1, it's in the NLT, it says, "O power, listen to my complaint. Protect my life from my enemies' threats." You see? And this is what we pray for every day, that we're protected from our enemy, which is Esau Edom. And this whole fucking system that he has created is basically an enemy to you Israelites, to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right. It says, "Hide me from the plots of this evil mob, from this gang of wrongdoers." And that's exactly what these people are. A gang of wrongdoers, they're evil, they're wicked. They're everything diabolical in this world, man. It says they sharpen their tongues like swords and aim their bitter words like arrows. They shoot from ambush at the innocent, attacking suddenly and fearlessly. They encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. And this whole situation right here is one of their many snares and traps, man. For you to create have patents on particular illnesses and diseases that are highly infectious, has a high mortality rate, and can be spread easily, that you created, that you manipulated, and then you release out here upon the people to infect and to get sick, and then come behind that with with a vaccine, and you profit and make money off of the same thing that you created, but then you'll present it as if it's just some naturally occurring virus, but the whole time you've been quarterbacking and manipulating and using it for your own purposes. Is absolutely evil and wicked, man. It's absolutely wicked. That's why it says they encourage each other to do evil. And they didn't just one day come up with this bright idea. They've been doing this. They've been planning. They've been, doing these things behind closed doors so that they could use it for these same type of scenarios, man. It says they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, "We have devised a perfect plan." Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. And who's that? Esau Edom minds is cunning, but in wickedness. All this shit is very wicked. It's very disgusting, and it's ultimately something that the wicked and the damn devil would do. And ultimately, this is why this man should never be trusted under any circumstance. Whatever he tells you, you have to understand that it has the intentions of deceiving you. With this devil is never as it seems. Everything is inverted. Everything is backwards, man. You see, but you got a lot of our people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who still can't get that through their thick skulls, who can't really understand that whatever this man is putting on the table, whatever he's, presenting unto you, hey, you better be very, very skeptical. You better be very, very, you better be ready to question every goddamn thing and understand that the motives behind it are completely wicked. So let's get some of this. It says the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the NIAID, is funding the laboratory creation of deadly genetically engineered BFVs. I'll just say that, all right? You see, and they're funding this shit, and they're in the labs working on it, manipulating it, looking at it, seeing how they could make it more potent, make it more, it's the word I'm looking for. Make it more infectious, easily, caught, But at the same time, they'll come with the cure or the V for it right behind it, and they profit enormously by it, but off of the expense of you sheeple's lives, man. It says, is funding the laboratory creation of deadly genetically engineered BFVs, even as its director, Dr. Jeffrey Tonbenberger, is named as an inventor on a U.S. government patent for a V platform designed to counter those very pathogens, man. You see, And that's the wickedness of this so-called white man. Only a demonic demon would do some shit like this, man. You see? It says, in other words, the same federal agency making new BFVs is led by the man who helped invent and could profit from the V meant to fight them. You see, man? Absolutely diabolical. This man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You see? The damn devil that the Bible speaks of. And that's why this man should not be trusted under any circumstances, man. All right? This is but then, like I said, at the same time, they'll tell you, trust the experts, trust them, they're here to help you, they're here to fix the problem. But what they're not telling you on mainstream news media, like with Dr. Fauci, was that he was the same bastard that helped invent and create the whole damn the outbreak. He was the one that was working on it, that manipulated it, that that was using gain of function to make the shit, as bad as it was. But then those same people will be presented as the savior and the expert that's going to come to fix the problem that he created, man. Strictly demonic. And then this motherfucker profits enormously. Why the hell you think Fauci had to get a presidential pardon, man? You think he got a pardon because he was innocent? No, he got a pardon because he was fucking guilty on all charges, man. And all of the receipts, all the information came out and it was presented, and they were found to be true. You see? But then at the same time, the whole, and they were hoping that those receipts and that the truth never came out. But that's one thing about truth. It always finds a way to rise to the top, man. And just knowing that, you should know this man should not be trusted under any circumstances, man. And this is not just the only occasion to where he's done evil shit like this. Go back to the Tuskegee experiments, and there's plenty of videos if you do a deep dive on YouTube telling you how the U.S. government has been experimenting on so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, putting all type of doing all type of biological testing in their neighborhoods without the knowledge of the people. You can go, you can go on and on with this shit, man. You see? This is part of his history. This is part of his a demonic footprint on the earth. And this is why this man should never be trusted, man. All right. And this is especially when he's speaking. Believe him not. Like I'm going to read that later. This is Proverbs 26 and 23 in the NLT. It says, smooth words may hide a wicked heart. Oh, trust the experts. Oh, this is going to help everybody. Remember, everything he says is inverted. You got to look at it in reverse, man. So if he's telling you something's going to help, you better believe it ain't going to help, man. If he's telling you if something's going to help relieve this, it's not. You see? And like I said, the more smoother he talks, the more he looks like he's being humble and he's, being sympathetic, man. Hey, the more to know, to turn the other way and run, man. Proverbs 26 and 23 in the NLT. Smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as a pretty glaze covers a clay pot. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they're deceiving you. You see that? Can't believe this man. All right. The more he's talking sweet, the more he's acting like he really cares, the more he's deceiving you. He's, that's what the devil does, man. He wants you to let your guard down. He wants you to believe. Here it is. This man has no empathy or sympathy, but he wants you to believe that he's being sympathetic or empathetic to your problem. Trust me, this man don't give a good goddamn one iota about you people, especially you tribes, man. You need to understand that and get that through your head and deal with this man as if you're walking a path and you see a venomous, poisonous snake, man. The best thing you can do is take the long way around, get as far away from that damn devil as possible. All right. It says they pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts or their minds are full of many evils. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, right? He'll conceal it, with those soft words, with a suit, with a lab coat, with the hair slicked back, and these devils are so deeply immersed in their wickedness. These devils know even particular colors to wear, or a particular tie to wear, or a particular, shirt or color to wear that they'll know will get you to trust them even more. It's diabolical, man. Just how cunning and how deep this man is on the left-hand side. It says they pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoings will be exposed in public. You see, and that's why eventually a lot of the truth ends up coming out on this devil. Which is why he's trying to control the narrative. This is why they want to do away with free speech. This is why they want to give Trump what's the term planetary powers, man. You see, this is why they want to do away with the internet and free speech and censor, anybody with a message coming contrary to their narrative, man. You see, and this is why eventually they want to come up against the prophets and the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because why? They're being exposed in the public. Esau's being made bare. He can no longer hide himself. And even though you're always gonna have the simple of the population, the morons that believe every goddamn thing that they see on TV or that comes from the government. You're gonna have a lot that's not gonna believe it. You're gonna have people that's gonna scrutinize, that's gonna look into what they're saying, and that's the people that they want to do away with the most. People that got few brain cells that that have a few brain cells and that have a memory, So let's read this again. It says, in other words, the same federal agency making new BFVs is led by the man who helped invent and could profit from the V meant to fight them. So, this guy, Tom Benberger, which when there's a new outbreak, which, even the likes of Bill Gates and even Fauci, and even other experts said it's only a matter of time before another one comes. This is going to be the guy at the forefront of it. And he's going to sell it. He's going to tell you, everything that he tells you is going to be in his best interest and the interest of these elites. So everything that's going to come out of his mouth is going to be to deceive you, man, on every level. It says mainstream reports and federal documents confirm that Dr. Todd Benberger could receive royalty payments if the V platform proves successful. So what do you think his interest is going to be in? Receiving those royalties, making sure that, that the thing that he created goes out, infects people, get them sick so that they could come with the V that could help cure and help heal the very same thing that he created to jack you up in order to get his royalty payments, man. So it's diabolical, man. Shows you that these individuals that they put in these positions, that they don't have no heart and they don't give a good goddamn about you people. It says federal rules allow government inventors like Tannenberger to personally earn up to $150,000 a year in royalties from their patents. So it shows you that the government is in cahoots and they're just as wicked as well, man. That's why this man cannot be trusted, bro. The government allows these motherfuckers to gain royalties, man. To get paid. Why do you think when the last P came, you had this was sponsored by Pfizer, the NBA game sponsored by Pfizer, Pfizer was pushing. You see, because they were looking to make profit off of your pain and suffering and your death. It says this overlap between the V creation and V ownership raises profound questions about conflicts of interest within America's P preparedness system. The same official overseeing the creation of potentially P causing BFVs also stands to earn personal income from the patented V technology designed to combat them, a built-in conflict of interest at the very heart of the U.S. pandemic research. Come on, bro. You can't tell me that ain't wickedness to the core, man. It says, how secure is a nation whose top infectious disease officials are simultaneously funding the creation of potential P pathogens and positioned to profit from the V's meant to stop them? I mean, come on, bro. It's a complete conflict of interest and it's fucking wicked. And it shows you that this whole shit is fucking corrupted. And this is why these devils are able to predict these particular coming situations, because they're creating them. They're quarterbacking the whole thing and at the same time profiting from the shit. I mean, goddamn, what more proof do you need to see this man is the damn devil? This is Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. See? And this is why our faith needs to be in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to the fullest, man. And this is why you have to understand your enemy and know that this man does not have nobody's best interests at heart, man. You see, everything that comes out of his lips is to deceive, man, to deceive you, to lie to you, to get you to let your guard down, to let you to be open and trusting to what he's doing, and then, stab you in the back, man. It says, cast thy burden upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and he shall sustain thee. Salakia. All right, Salakia. It says, cast thy burden upon Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved, you see? And this is why, we have to put our faith totally in the Most High and trust in everything that he's warned us and showed us about this damn devil Esau Edom, man. Who would know better than the Lord? And that's why ultimately, great judgment is getting ready to come down upon this damn demon. It says, but thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. You see? Because there's ultimately going to be a great judgment upon these, this man and everything that, he is using and weaponized to come up against, the Israelites, man. And basically mainly on the Israelites, and mainly just his wickedness in general, man. You see? This man is diabolical, man. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See? So basically telling you that no matter what, this man's wickedness is always there, man. And he could make it look good. He can, cover it up with a smile and with a suit or with a lab coat, with what it seems like to be sympathetic and empathetic words. He can change the tone of his voice. We just care so much, and we just want to help everybody. Can't be believing that bullshit, man. All right, because this man is your enemy, and like I said, he hides his hatred for you with smooth words, and he makes it sound good, and it makes it seem like he cares, and he makes it seem like he's there for you, but it's never as it seems, man. And let me jump down to verse 13. It says, who would pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come now wild beast? So like we told you, Jakes, man, when that last shutdown came, we warned you about, what he was offering you, and hey, be wise, be circumspect, he's playing you, he's running a good game on you, he's in friend mode, but you should know better than that. So, ultimately, you don't really feel sorry for Jake when they don't take the warning, when they don't take, heed of what we're telling them, how this man is, how he operates, and who he is according to the scriptures. And you tell us, oh, shut the hell up. Oh, you're this, you're that. You're so negative. He's changed. Things are going to be different this time. And then when you get bit and you get injected with that poison and you get all fucked up, nobody really feels sorry for you, because we tried to tell you. We tried to warn you, man. And it's going to be the same moving forward. This man is not to be trusted, It says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? And for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. See? So, hey, this man, he speaks sweetly. He promise you the world. He'll tell you it's this, it's that. But at the end of the day, understand who you're dealing with, man. You see, just the fact that he would even, conduct himself in this manner shows you that he should not be trusted, showing you that everything that he's doing is only meant to benefit him, even if it's at your expense, or even you're going back, even if it's at the expense of your deletion. See? And hey, man, these guys are diabolical, and this is just how the devil operates, man. The best thing that you can do is understand your enemy, understand that he does not have your best interests at heart, and everything that he does, man, it's coming in the spirit of guile, deceit, his self-preservation, for him to gain control, for him to have the upper hand, and ultimately, to jack you up at the end of the day, man. And it's all for his profit, man. So, hey, man, this man is demonic, man. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit in me through this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. And to the next one, shalom.